Good morning, everyone. KJ here. I just got a question for you. When did the time start to go by so fast that last Monday was like yesterday, and here we are on another Monday? Good morning, Cindy Bullock. Good morning, Beach Lady. Hello, Hope Grace. Good morning. You know, when I was younger, I can confess this. When I was younger, and my boys, now they're adults and they're out of the home, but when they were little, and I had my hands full, and it was hard. It was struggle. I can confess that I was like, man, I just wish these kids would get a little older, get a little more self-sufficient. You know, give me a break, right? Now I'd give anything to have them in my arms again, my little boys. I remember how it used to feel just holding them when they were babies. Y'all, I don't have any grandkids, and I don't know many people that have small infants or babies. And just to hold a baby again, just that warmness and that specialness of holding a child or a little toddler, holding the hand of a toddler and watching that little child learn something new. Good morning, Elba Lopez. Hello, Kathy Barella, Fancy Nancy. Praedum Yada Praedum. Good morning. So, acceptance of the fact that I don't see any grandchildren anytime soon, and I don't know if I'll ever hold another little baby again. I have to say, well, you've already, KJ, you've already lived that. You've already had that in your life. And you know what you felt and what you learned and all of those things. Good morning, Jill Schneider. Good morning, Bunny's 2 cents. You know, hey, I'm all for living life, and I'm all for getting older. I just happen to believe that people are not old. They're just older, but that's just me. Hello, Bria P. So Wayne and I we went fishing this weekend, and his brother's little boy, his name's River, he's 4 years old. He went out on the boat with us on Saturday, y'all. It was the sweetest thing you ever saw. He took one of those cartons of worms and sat down on one of those little couches on the boat, and he had a cooler, like a cooler that you open to get the drinks out, sitting in front of him like a little table. And he took every one of those worms out and was counting them at 4 years of age. But when he first got on the boat, he was too scared to even touch the worm. And there he was playing with the worms. And my husband's brother was like, don't do that, River. I'm like, let him do it. It ain't hurting nothing. Well, he's getting dirt everywhere. I don't care. I don't care. We've got a pressure washer. We're out in the middle of the freaking lake. Let the boy go, let him learn about worms. Beach Lady says, by the time I get grandbabies, they'll be changing my diapers. There you go. There's a reality check, right? Hello, Peg. Hello, Maggie Jane. But it was a lot of fun, and we spent the whole weekend fishing. I mean, we fished from the morning till the evening, got home, went to bed, Got up the next morning, went out again. I posted a picture of Wayne's big catch of a blue cat. He always does catch the bigger fish, but that's okay. I love to see him happy. I love to see him just with that little twinkle in his eye like a little boy himself. Which brings me to this, y'all. No matter our age, no matter what we've been through, I personally believe that we're kind of, like, metaphorically speaking, like the rings in a tree. You can count how many rings in a tree and all that. Well, it all started with that little baby, that little child, that little toddler, that little the little, I guess what you call preteen, all that, all the way down. And let me just say me, I still have that child in me. And so does Wayne, and so will my boys now that they're adults. And other people, I can look through that lens and see that. I mean, we all got to adult, right? But we've all got to, at some point, y'all, enjoy life the way, it's like in Holy Scripture when it talks about, to be like a child. Because a child is so innocent. And of course, y'all know, as well as I do, that when you're an adult, you're not innocent anymore, per se. You're just not. You've seen too much, done too many things. Oh, Fancy Nancy ordered a KJ and the Ray tote. Well, there you go. Did you know, Fancy Nancy? It's up to you. I don't know what your stand is, but anyone who's into research analysis and you, a Ray, that's on the tote. It ain't because it's got KJ on it, it's got Ray on it. That's what it's about. Thank you so much for that. That'll help Cresha K. Easton of Difficult Research. Maria P. says, almost ready for Halloween. Love to see the kids having fun. Oh, well, I'll tell you what, Maria P. I live out here in the country, and there ain't no little kids gonna come knocking on the door saying trick or treat out here. That's okay. Liza Joe says, I have a big, beautiful boy, too. Good morning, Jet Set Jay. Good morning, Stephanie Willow. So I know my limitations, and, Wayne, and I say that because Wayne says that. He says, I'm like Clint Eastwood. I know my limitations. And I kind of ascribe to that myself. I understand there are things that kids did, that I did, growing up that I can't do anymore, and I probably wouldn't want to do because I've been there, done that. But that childlike spirit that every time, like for instance, like it's the second day of October, it's getting fall now. I'm looking right out here, y'all, into the yard. There's leaves starting to fall in this yard. The smell of like burning leaves, if I smell it, it takes me back to those moments when I was a kid, swinging on the tire swing right before dark. And every time I'd go out, far out and stuff, it's almost like I was catapulting myself into a different world, just briefly. And then just all kinds of different things depending on how, what you experienced in your life as a child growing up. Those things just kind of pop out to me, like, man, I remember when I was this age or this age, It's not about living in the past, y'all. But I'm a big proponent that you can look back in your past, not just to learn lessons, which that to me is the priority, but it's also about feeling that eagerness, that wonder, that, the happiness. We didn't know, when I was a kid, I didn't know my parents were going through whatever they had to go through to pay the bills. Some adults now can say, well, when I was a kid, that's all my parents ever fought. They fought in front of us about money, 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 money. Well, that wasn't like it. I mean, when I was growing up, we didn't have money, but there was no fights or anything to clue me in that my parents might have had it rough here and there. I thought the world, heck, I myself as a child didn't have to pay bills. I didn't have to do any of these things. It was a freedom there. And what's interesting in my view is back then, I didn't know that I should appreciate those moments as a child. I didn't know, man, I'm young and I've got someone taking care of me and I can, I've got my rules and I've got my discipline and stuff, but for the most part, back when I was young, and I'm sure many of y'all can agree with this, it was a lot simpler back then. You could go out and play until it got dark, and then you had to come in. You didn't have to worry about walking a block down the road to your friend's house. You didn't have to worry about riding a bicycle, which, by the way, upstate New York, there's a 9-year-old little girl missing right now. I'm sure some of y'all know about it. I forgot her name. I was scrolling through the news headlines. She was at a campground. 9 years old, y'all. She's wanting to do the loop with her friends, and she does. But then she wants to go and do it by herself one time. She doesn't come back, and they're searching for her. Nicole says, this morning I watched an old video on YouTube of Christmas 1976 in New York, and it's just so interesting. It is, I mean, the old saying that things were simpler, or today when we say young people have it harder than we had it, it's just interesting. Kathy Mama Bear says this little girl, this 9-year-old girl's missing, and she's not far from where Kathy and Tom live. So I'm sure Mama Bear there is going to be keeping an eye on that. That's in her community. And by the way, Kathy Mama Bear, I don't know if you saw it or not, but I didn't know. But I saw on the docket where everybody was wishing you a happy birthday. I did wish you a happy birthday. I hope you had a wonderful one. I hope Mr. Tom spoiled you. Somehow I know that Mr. Tom probably did. Oh, I bet it was Kathy Mama Bear. So, Liza Joe brings up superstition stipulates nothing but rain on Mormon conference weekend. It's a thing, LOL. Well, I kind of scrolled through all that. Y'all, I'm a newsfeed person. I don't go and look for something when it comes to newsfeeds. I just scroll down them. I rarely click on them. I look at the title. Maybe the titles are misleading and I should read the articles, but I look at it and I'm like, well, they made the title. Whether it's misleading and you should read the article or not, that title's there. I guess I'm into topic sentences, y'all. But they're talking about building all these temples and all of this. And again, their belief system and their faith is just not lining up with mine. Which, hey, who's wrong, who's right, doesn't make a difference. Everybody deserves to believe the way they want to believe. I just personally don't think a building is what brings you close to God or to Jesus Christ. I believe what brings you close to God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, which seems to be left out, is the Holy Spirit. And I believe it's my acceptance of Jesus into my heart. I don't have a problem with people assembling together who are like-minded. Where 2 or more people are gathered in my name, there I'll be, says Jesus. It's just, to me, how many buildings, even outside of religion. Let's put religion on the back burner for a second. How many of these buildings bring people together? And what do they bring them together for? I guess that's a good one, huh? Cindy Bullock says it always rains on conference weekend. The heavens are crying, says Cindy Bullock. Well, I'll tell you what, rain to me means that things are getting watered. Things are going to grow from the water that falls out of the sky. Do I want to apply that for this conference over the weekend? I don't have, well, I do, but I'll leave it at that. Beach Lady says there's just too much politics in those buildings for me. Well, I'll tell you what, Beach Lady. I actually studied political science in college. That was my major. And I learned a lot in the liberal arts division there. Things that I didn't agree with. But I had to pass the classes, right? When I'm saying God says I am that I am, there are people all over the liberal arts division that wants to talk about I think, therefore I am. Which is a far cry, but you gotta pass the coursework, right? The only thing I learned in political science, y'all, is that, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's political science in a nutshell is someone, who loves hamburgers and how they like their, whatever they like on their hamburger. They're thinking about, oh, I love this, I love bacon, I love cheese, I like mayonnaise, mustard, whatever it is. Getting that hamburger ready, and you start to eat it, and it tastes so good, and then someone walks up to you that you don't know and says, hey, that's a good-looking hamburger there, and grabs it out of your hand and starts eating it. That's what political science, metaphorically speaking, is to me. Am I short-sighted? Am I short-selling myself on that? I don't think so. So, another week, and we don't know exactly what's going to transpire in any of the stuff that we have been looking at. As many of y'all know, if you haven't figured it out now, I might as well just re-emphasize it. When it comes to any of this stuff, it is about justice through understanding, but it is also, it's something that I can look at and make application with, and I can learn things from on a practical level. And that's just me. Other people find it just, oh, KJ's here killing time, doing whatever KJ's doing, and whatever. But then again, there is no doubt that absolutely real friendships have been made on this channel. So that is the plus, right? Politics philosophy is do unto others as you want to want done to you, but you do it first before you get done doing it. In other words, corruption, says Maria P. See, this is a demonstration, y'all. I give my views on political science. Maria P. gives her views on politics. Different. Every human being is different unless they decide they all want to think alike. And one of y'all said it before, if we all thought alike, how boring would that be? Then again, there's a such thing as confirmation bias. And a lot of times people don't want to hear stuff that they themselves, if they believe in it or they really take this stand on something, and then someone does something the opposite of that, it actually makes them uncomfortable and they don't want to listen to it. You know how I know this? Because I've had confirmation bias in my life too. I've really tried to, later on in my life, try to listen to opposing views. And why does it even have to be opposing? Why can't it just be differing? Because the things that people are talking about or whatever, they're either hot button topics or there's something that really, really just makes a person really feel strongly about something. Maria P says, I don't agree with any politician. Well, I'll tell you what, Maria P. Somehow, some way, when this country was formed, there was a whole bunch of Americans that didn't want to have to go up there and sit through a freaking congressional hearing. And they didn't want to do a spending bill. They didn't want to do all this stuff. What they wanted to do was go out like OKJ and Mr. Wayne and go fishing and leave it to someone else. So what happened? We elected people to go out here and do what needed to be done. But the system, along with everything else pretty much, this is just my opinion, is corrupted or broken. You'll see little tiny lights of doing the right thing here and there. Y'all, am I sounding pessimistic today on a Monday? I do everything I can to be positive, but I can feel it coming out of me. I'm a little pessimistic this morning, y'all. I apologize for that. I don't have a problem apologizing for being pessimistic or having cynicism or anything like that, or, just this world just continues to keep moving forward. So many things, and it really cannot be about what OKJ likes or dislikes. That would make me what? I'd be the center of the world here. I ain't the center. There are billions of people out here with all kinds of views out here. Just because I don't agree with a lot of stuff, does it make the world a shitty place to live in? No. Sometimes I've learned that the things that I thought were not good for this world ended up actually being good for the world. Who am I anyway? What do my opinions matter? Good morning, Susan Honecker. The problem is in differing opinions now is whether a man is a man and a woman could be a woman, not something simple foreign policies. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, Nicole, since you want to bring up that topic, where did we even get this topic? Where does it come from? Why does it find itself into someone's opinions? Because I guarantee you this, y'all, the news media, they want everyone to just stay on script with their narratives. They don't want people out here thinking for themselves. So what do? They find these issues that really, really piss people off, and that's how they keep people unbalanced. And when I mean unbalanced, that means if they're balanced, they get to enjoy their life and they can see things through their own narrative. And as KJ has my own narrative, that doesn't mean my narrative is like, get out of the way, everybody. You'll either like it or you don't like it. Sometimes a person has to acquiesce. Some people have to understand that it's not my way or the highway when you're living in a community. when you're living around other people. Everyone has equal footing, in my view. And because someone thinks differently than me, and maybe it's over some real big issue that really upsets me, does that mean that I'm going to just put this blanket, pissy attitude out here? And everybody's believing this or that or whatever. And because it's like that and no one's thinking like me or believes the way I do, this is a shitty existence? I don't think so. Donna Donald says news media has an agenda that is to make money. Unfortunately, you described how. Oh, yeah, it always leads back to money, Donna. But I'll tell you something else. It also has to do with who's in office and who isn't in office. And you know what I do, y'all? I'm going to leave it in God's hands. And go on with my life. Live my life. Do the best I can. Hope and pray that I'm not put in a situation where I have to say, you know what? What you're teaching people or doing or this or that is wrong. And, again, this goes back to who am I? Hello, Michelle Flanagan. So Nicole says, not that I agree with it, but all of our problems is just something I'm concerned with just when it comes to competing in sports. Okay. Well, Nicole, I can respect that. I remember when my boys played sports. I really enjoyed watching them play. Andrew played basketball. CJ played baseball and soccer. And Quinn did a short stint in basketball. But he was more of a book knowledge type of person. People are not stupid or blind. Don't force anyone to be ignorant. I don't vote anymore, says Maria P. Well, there you go. And that's your decision, Maria P. But I guarantee you this, a no vote is a vote. It's a lot like this thing, well, I'm not going to do nothing about it, right? Well, doing nothing is something. It's always something. That's just an opinion. Donna Donald says, my kids were in music and art and not sports, just how they went. There you go. And I bet, Donna Donald, you couldn't be more proud of your kids. I guess this goes right back around again. I'd be lying if I said that, there aren't times that I want that youth in my life again, whether it's holding a baby or just something to that. It's not that I'm fine at 52. I can handle it. I'm enjoying my life. I'm making the best of it. But there are times that things remind me, and it just, it's almost a far away thing that I just want so bad to just reach my arm in there and grab it back, Hello, Amanda Rise. Or Rees. Excuse me. It's all about having some healthy control for me in what I'm going to decide my narrative and my thinking is going to do for the day. Generally speaking, I want to have a good day, just I'm sure as many of y'all want to have a good day. I want to be positive. I want to be optimistic. I want to be giving. I want to be caring. I want to be loving. Hello, Hear God's Voice. Blessings to you and your family, says Hear God's Voice. There you go. I was talking to my husband's other brother. Now, he's got two brothers. But I was talking to his other brother the other day, and his wife's mother passed away. And my heart goes out to her, and I've let her know that. And somehow we got on the conversation of, well, I asked about the funeral, and they said it was going to be a little one and all this. And then, Wayne and I are standing there talking to him. And I'm just, I'm just as real as I'm ever going to be about it. And I've said it many times so that Wayne doesn't forget it. Now he's got a witness with his brother there as well, with my kids, and everyone else has heard it before. I don't want a funeral. I want to go to the cemetery, and I want them to put me in the ground and have my immediate family there. That's all I want, and that's it. That's what I want. Now, am I being depressed or morbid or no? No, not at all. I mean, goodness gracious, y'all. If I believe in life and how precious it is and how beautiful it is, I have to also embrace the death aspect of it, because that's part of life. Life is death and death is life. In fact, what's interesting about it is my husband's brother's wife's mother, who passed away, that brother and wife there, they're fixing to have a grandbaby with their son there. So as death happens, life comes out, See, Dawa 22 says funerals are overrated, especially if you don't have family. Well, there you go. Great point. Everyone's in a different place. Everyone has a different dynamic in their life. That's a great point. Beach Lady says, I want a party. Everyone gets to tell funny stories about me. Celebrate my life, not mourn my death. I don't think there's anything wrong with mourning, though. I mean, Jesus wept over his friend. That loss, I think it's totally natural and beautiful, and it's not a lack of faith, even though there have been times that I'm like, why am I getting so upset? My mother's been gone for, 2 years now. I shouldn't be getting upset. I should have some faith that she's where I know she is. I do know where she's at, where I'm going to be too. Maria P. says, I used to be a hospice RN. It was the most rewarding job I have ever had in 40 years as a nurse. Well, I'll tell you what, Maria P., I can't begin to show my respect and honor for anyone that works, number one, as a nurse, but hospice in particular. I mean, look at Jimmy Carter, y'all. He celebrated his 99th birthday. There are people that live, there's some that's lived to be 100. I look back through my whole family tree. No one made it past 90. Nobody. Not one. You ever thought about that? Well, I'm going to look. My parents, my great-grandparents, thus cousins, uncles, aunts, all the way back. Look through your whole lineage there. No one ever made it past 90. And I guarantee you something else. Those people weren't out here smoking cigarettes like OKJ and jumping on and off boats and doing all these other things. I'm sure they just worked their butts off, kept themselves in shape, and ate what they could eat. Olive says, I remember a show I watched. Can't remember which one, but the guy said he wants a pretend funeral so he can hear all the pretending nice things about him. Yeah, I think someone has brought this up in my life years ago. If you had a funeral, what would people say about you? And this goes to that, what is it? That Christmas Carol thing, you want to live your life to be there and love and be supportive and helpful of other people. Not because you're going to hear good things that people are going to hear good things at your funeral, but it's like a way of saying, hey, how you live your life, you know, what would someone say about you at your funeral, right? Well, I can tell you this right now. It ain't going to make a damn bit of difference what anyone says about me at my graveside service there. I'm not even going to hear it. And that's just my belief. Some people believe that you've got people up here looking down and seeing all that. I don't believe that. I believe once you're in heaven, you don't see the earth down here because, number one, you'd be sad for the people that you love down here struggling or having these problems or missing you. And heaven is a perfect place. That's my belief. So, Nicole, when you say I've isolated myself so much that nobody would ever go anyway, I guarantee you, some people in this world that you've run across that you just smiled at when they were having a bad day, do they have to show up at your funeral there? Lives can be changed on something that we're not even aware of. I don't want to know. I always ask God, I'm like, if I do any good at all, it's your glory, God. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to know about it because I know how human nature is. And I know that if I found out that I was doing something good or whatever for other people or help people change their lives or whatever, that it would puff me up. And then I'd have to fall down on my face and repent and feel ashamed and all that other stuff. And I just have let all that go. Thank you for all the compliments, but I got more out of being a nurse than what it did. I hope I get taken care of when I need it as I cared for others. Well, Maria P., I cannot say that for sure, and neither can you, but I would venture to say that when someone does something to help someone else, it will come back. Maybe you will obviously not know, and it doesn't even have to be the same kind of care. It could be something else that somebody does. And just so any of y'all know, if there's people on here that are talking stuff that's got nothing to do with what we're talking about, and they're just inserting themselves, and they're not really with it, they're just here to say stupid shit, please report them. If 2 or more people report them, they'll get knocked off of YouTube. Then they'll have to go and create a whole new account because the reason they got knocked off of YouTube goes back to that account, and YouTube knows when they create the ghost accounts, right? Thank you, Liza Joe. What is interesting, and y'all need to correct me if I'm wrong, you can't get on this community wall on this channel without being a subscriber. And I've had a couple of people get on the community wall on some of my posts and say some pretty shitty things. So what, they're going to subscribe to this channel so that they can say whatever, see what they're going to see on the community wall? Well, I'll tell you this, over live streams, over videos, the community wall means more to me on here than anything else. Because that's how I stay connected. That's how I share myself more than the live streams or the videos. But that's just my opinion. And as many of y'all know, I appreciate anybody being here who wants to be here. This channel isn't for everyone, but everyone is welcome. But it's not about clicks or subscriptions or anything like that. It's never been and it never will be. I have enough faith to believe that there are people out here that's got things that they need to tell me that's going to help me. And there are people out here that are going to come here that I can help as well. It's a two-way street. And I venture to say that y'all help me more than I could even begin to help anyone on here. And I don't even know if the word help is the word. It's just a sense of love and caring in the midst of all my dysfunction. Hear God's voice says, let's love one another as we would like to be loved. Nicole, I won't do any of that stuff on YouTube. This is it. Graphics and all, y'all. My little thumbnails. I always said it's, all I was hoping and praying for was 20 or 30 people. That's all. It's an open channel. That's all it is. What does my heart good is to see each of y'all developing relationships and friendships with people on here. Chosen 144 is asking for donations, y'all. If you feel so inclined to do it, please do it. Fancy Nancy, you gonna buy me some new wigs? Someone asked that question. KJ, why do you have wigs? Y'all, I think some of y'all figured it out. I was in theater earlier in my life. I enjoyed it. I've also wrote. I've been a playwright. It was in middle school and high school, and I did some theatrical stuff in my communications class in college. I love theatrics. I love to pretend. I think that it's mostly about the cynicism and trying to get someone to smile in the midst of all the reasons that we have to frown in this world. That's a good question, Do we smile more than we frown? Do we feel a sense of peace and happiness more than we feel depression? I can speak for me when I say depression, or just sadness, sorrow. Oh, I know, Liza Joe. Agent Ancelotti says hello from the UK, England. Hello there. How are you? I've been to up north, Yorkshire up there. My brother was stationed at Midwith Hill Air Force Base up in the northern part of England. I went down south, Stonehenge, and I even stayed in the heart of London. Went to Buckingham Palace. I've got pictures. Maybe I'll share those with y'all someday. I was a looker back then. I remember getting off the plane. I was wearing a big American shirt. I probably had one too many drinks on the flight over. It was an 18-hour flight. Those were the days. Well, okay. Well, glad you're here, Agent Ancelotti. Says Yorkshire. I'm Lancashire. I can't say it. Lancashire, near Manchester. I can't. Let's see. Lancashire. Is it Lancashire? Right? Right? I don't know. The good thing about this channel is nobody has to be 100% on any damn thing. Maria P says, take it one day at a time. Be thankful for the little things in life. And don't let the jackasses get to you. Maria P, you're so, so real. Oh, Nicole, that's very sweet. I appreciate that. I really do. Kathy Barella, I couldn't help it. The audacity of certain things. And you know what, y'all? I have my views. I'm not saying I'm right, but my goodness, y'all. Yeah, well, Agent Ancelotti, when I visited England, I never saw the sunshine, and maybe that's why that apparel got so popular years ago. Remember London Fog? They made really good jackets and everything. I never saw it sunshine there, and you want to hear something else really strange? I noticed this, y'all. I noticed these things. I would say nearly, y'all, 100% wore black shoes. I couldn't see nobody wearing a pair of white sneakers anywhere. Everybody wore black shoes. It was weird. I even told my brother, I'm like, you point out someone wearing a pair of white shoes. Everybody wore black shoes. It was so funny. Beach Lady says, my hubby calls you the Tennessee woman. He's from Tennessee too. Well, I bet he's something else there, Beach Lady. You tell your hubby I said hello. All of y'all that's got y'all's hubbies or significant other ones or family members that y'all kind of enjoy getting together and hanging out on here. Thank y'all so much. Kathy Mama Bear, that is crazy. I thought I was the only one that really understood that. Kathy Mama Bear says, I got laughed at when in England for wearing my white sneakers. I mean, come on, y'all. It's crazy. Oh, right, Olive. That's how they spot the tourists. Oh. So, what do y'all, does anybody have any predictions? You know, these kind of predictions that we know are going to happen. We know something was going to happen between Jody and Ruby there. They said October 5th or beyond. I'm not sure. I think they said October 5th, though. And there's got to be some movement, y'all, on these motions that have been filed from Corey Richard's attorney and for the state. They had 5 days from the middle of last week, so it should be coming out anytime. The prosecutor's response to Corey Richard's attorney wanting to sanction the prosecution. You know what, Maria P? I've never liked Levi's jeans. They don't fit on me right. And trust me, there was a time that I really thought, wow, those are Levi's jeans. That's good. That's great. I can't wear them. My body, I'm too short-legged. My body, it just doesn't fit in them properly. Right, Kathy. Right. The gag order that Corey Richards don't give a crap about. I think that this letter that she wrote is very significant, but I think the judge is probably going to try to give both sides some balancing act there because the trial isn't here yet. I don't know what that looks like, but I don't think the judge is going to come down hard on one side or the other. And I haven't heard any reaction from Attorney General Ray's statement about not endorsing Tim Ballard. Trust you me, Tim Ballard's Spear Foundation or whatever. I guess you had to be a member, but they post things. You would have seen something by now. I don't know where that's going, y'all. I don't know. Yes, Patty and Peak, I do. I like Lucky Brand. I like their tops too. Well, Nicole, OKJ inherited my ass from my mother, and I do. I have somewhat of a flat ass. I don't have one of them bubble butts. I don't have butt implants. I don't have the Kim Kardashian thing going on, y'all. OKJ's got the thing. Just enough cushion there to sit down on it without it hurting. Right, I'll admit either, but there are some good brands of clothing that that are tried and true for me. It's not the brand name or anything that's drawing me there. I just try them. Maybe that was initially and found out they fit me right or were comfortable. Y'all remember? Well, okay, I remember. Years and years ago before I had kids, you had to wear the jeans skin tight, and now you got men in skinny jeans. Oh, Tim Ballard and his skinny jeans. I'm going to tell you what, he's probably got to tuck all that up in there. I don't know if that seam, the crouch seam there on Tim Ballard, that's got to be like being a gymnast on one of those pole vault deals. I'm sorry, y'all. This is a Monday. Leanne Forsberg, Ian Wilkinson has been released from the hospital. The investigation's still ongoing. Erin Patterson is still being protected by her attorneys, which she should be. Haven't gotten anything other than that. Liza Joe, Attorney General Ray's has been on more than one. I thought it was one, but as I got to researching there, hey, y'all, this has everything to do with opposition research on that Senate seat. These people are freaking diabolical. They can find out anything and everything that they need to find out in order to blow the opposing party out of the water. I think it's kabuki theater. OKJ, if I've never stated it before, I'm an independent with a libertarian streak in me, but I do have some liberal views. I'm not completely, I believe in, being who you are, whatever that is. But being who you are doesn't mean that you have to go out here and teach youth things that you do. Does anybody want someone teaching them something that makes them think they're different or that they're this or they're that? You've got to find out that for yourself and go for there. I am a true, firm believer that no matter who you are, what you self-identify or whatever, God's will is going to be done on earth as it is in heaven. And I don't have to know the specifics of that. And I don't know how that looks, but I have to trust God in it. Well, I'll tell you what, Nicole, I am definitely an overthinker. Someone would want to throw a label to that or say it's a mental health issue or whatever. No. I consider it just who I am, just being an overthinker, as long as it's not hurting me or other people. Those are indicators to me. Whenever I am whoever I am and whatever I do, am I hurting myself or am I hurting other people? It's as simple as that. Well, I'll tell you what, Agent Ancelotti, I've got a husband named Wayne. He was born he's a Tennessee man through and through. I'm in love with him through and through. He's my buddy, he's my friend, he's my lover, he's my Navy man, he's my veteran, he's all these things rolled up in one. And I'm his number one fan, and he's my number one fan. And if I can't think of anything to have a good day about, because maybe I'm just in one of those moods, I can always think of him. And it will put my heart at ease. It makes me happy to know that I am his and his is mine. Oh, I remember Charlotte Bassett, the chick jeans. Do they even make those now? Hello, Curly Shirley. Oh, Tom Vaughn says, I just wanted to pop in and say hello. I just wanted to say you are real. That's why people love you. Tom Vaughn, you're so sweet. I'm going to tell you what. You and Kathy, y'all put a warmness in my heart. You can still be my Valentine, though, Tom. Maybe Kathy will give you permission next February. Fancy Nancy says, my husband is my best friend. Now, that's a good point. Cindy Bullock says, I'm an overthinker, which does cause me anxiety. Well, see, that's good that you bring that up, Cindy. That is proven right there and demonstrates that whatever you know about yourself, if you're able to see that, that's a plus. That's good. That means awareness is half the battle, right? You're aware of that. And trust you me, there are many times that I overthink or I'm deep in thought. And yes, OKJ gets a little anxiety over what transpires in that thinking. But I've learned cognitive behavioral therapy in that when I start to receive that anxiety, and sometimes I'm like, is it anxiety? Is it my high blood pressure? Or is it both? I take those moments to take a deep breath through my nose and out my mouth. Just a couple of times. Don't do it too much. You'll hyperventilate. But you'll see how much something as simple as that. I'm a big anti-pharma person. I will not take medications for anything that anybody would think that I need to take them for, other than to say I have to take blood pressure medications. I have to take those. Trust me, I've tried going to a holistic doctor to get off of all pharma altogether. It's not working. Some medications really do help. Some medications bring a better quality of life for me. Fancy Nancy says, where is it? Morning, Kathy's Tom Vaughn. We adore you for being good to your bride. And Kathy says about Mr. Tom, she says, he's the best. Bestest, excuse me. That's even better than best. It's bestest. So there you go. Judy Benny says, my hubby is my best friend too. What a blessing. Nothing's perfect, y'all. It's really about your own life and how you're living it. Is your own damn business, the way you see things, the way you do things. It's your own choices and your own decisions. And people should be able to say, you know what? You do you and I'll do me. And that's a mutual respect there. It's starting to warm up out here, y'all. It gets chilly in the morning here. And then as it goes along, the warmth starts to come in. Olive says, my hubby was my best friend too, before I got rid of him. I'm not meaning to laugh. I know that's tough. That's tough. Mama Bear says, she gets him on Valentine's Day only. Only on Valentine's Day, LOL. Mr. Tom is my Valentine. Mr. Tom is my Valentine. And even though I love Mr. Wayne, Mr. Tom is KJ's Valentine. Oh, goodness. Liza Joe says, I'm 55 and I've been married to the same lovely man for 35 years. I'm so grateful. Liza Joe, isn't that a blessing? Norma Guerrero says, my hubby is my sunshine also. Oh, I shoot those little shorts all the time with Miss Kitty, my mom's cat that I brought in after her funeral and she's come to live with us. I'll start to sing something and she gets up and walks away. CDA Wade 22 says straight men don't wear skinny jeans. Well, I'll tell you what, CDA Wade 22, I've got a 24-year-old son, a 30-year-old son, and a 32-year-old son, and I guarantee you they don't wear skinny jeans. They got to have breathing room in there. Oh, yeah, Jenny Bitty. Miss Kitty, she's a funny bunny. Which, by the way, hold on a minute, y'all. I've got to go open this door to let one through the other. Okay, hold on. No, you go over there. You do that. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. I've got to do cat duty. I never married, says Maria P. Never found anyone worth the effort. Men are a lot of work, but you got to love them. I remember my mom told me, she said, having a husband's like having a kid. You got to take care of all their wants and needs. And it's, you know, when I speak of this, I say, you know, whenever, and I do, I wait on Wayne hand and foot when he comes home after a long day. But I enjoy doing that. I want him to know that I care for him and that I am there for him. You know, it can't be one-sided. He does a lot for me. If I asked him to do anything, he would do it within reason, right? But I'll tell you what, it ain't like this chips and salsa. Zulema. I love Alex. One day I was at the house and I was hungry for some chips and salsa. And Alex said, I will go get the chips and salsa for you. And he ran out the door and he came back and he handed me the chips and salsa and says, as you wish. Somebody needs to beat that woman senseless. Oh, goodness. Well, how is Zulema and Melanie Pulaski and David Warwick and Melanie Gibb and all them? Wonder what they're doing today, y'all. Did they go to the conference this weekend? Did they go and go to the conference and do they go to the temple on a regular basis now? Because, you know, that temple, that building, in their view, keeps them close to their God, right? Cindy Bullock says, freaking Zulema. Y'all notice we ain't seen nothing in the news. We ain't seen nothing in the news at all about them. Any of them. Is Melanie Pulaski and Ian and their family still in Arizona? How's David Warwick's construction company going? And is Zulema, is she still doing her hugging therapy shit? Thank you, Beach Lady. Hey, trust me, y'all. These people that come in and say these things or put on these comments or anything, they're crying out one way or the other. That's what it is to me. I don't look at it, even though it is a personal attack. It's absolutely a shame and it's sad, but it takes all types, right? If everybody was nice to everyone, which is, what is that, the ultimate goal? That everybody love everyone, everybody's caring to one another and all that. That's not possible in this life. And sometimes when people are nasty or do mean things to OKJ, it makes me appreciate the people and in my life that are good to me. In humble and wonderful ways, I want to always be there for other people. Liza Joe, we've all been waiting patiently Chad's trial. Local news never mentioned anything non-Mormons in Utah. It's very concerning, therefore it becomes my mission, says Liza Joe. Well, I know that Nate Eaton was interviewing, what's his name? Politan there, over at CrimeCon, and he says, what's his name? Vinny, that's right. Vinny Politan, he was interviewing, and it's on East Idaho News on YouTube, you can watch it yourself, where Vinny's got this theory that Lori and Alex are going to be thrown under the bus, that Chad's going to try to make it out to be like it was Lori and Alex, which is what we all said anyway, right? How many of us said that before Lori's trial that she was going to throw Chad and Alex under the bus? She didn't do it. So I guess your guess is as good as anybody's. Yeah, Liza Joe, Nate Eaton, I believe he is from Idaho, but they report on stuff that goes on in Utah. So if I gave you that impression that I said that Nate Eaton was from Utah, I don't remember saying that, but if I gave you that impression, he's not, I don't believe he's in Utah. I believe he's in Idaho. That's East Idaho News, him and his wife and his little sweet girl. Maria P. Nate is a real reporter. He's a good journalist. But I've noticed the clean version, if you want to use the word clean, on Tim Ballard on East Idaho News. There are other news organizations that are really just laying it down. talking about Tim Ballard, but they're being very generalized on East Idaho News about Tim Ballard. And by the way, for those that didn't see the community wall, that's a big step for Deseret Books to pull all of Tim Ballard's books off the shelves. They were feeding the masses for years of Tim Ballard. And a lot of people want to focus in on the money that Deseret Books made off Tim Ballard, but I want to focus on, well, they were promoting him. They were feeding all of these people that were getting their books there, and now they're off the shelf. It's almost like I almost can picture me doing a skit of just anybody, and there's a bookcase there, and I'm like, excuse me, are you a Deseret Books employee? Well, I was just in here yesterday, and I saw the whole section on Tim Ballard, and I didn't have the money at the time, and I thought I'd come back today to get me a book from Tim Ballard, because y'all had him all over the damn place, and I can't find him anywhere. Could you help me? Where is the Tim Ballard books? Give me a break. I've read all of them. I bought all these books about Tim Ballard, and there was some new ones up, and they're not here anymore. Where are they? Y'all fed them to me. I ingested them. Good morning, Charles Henry Mitchell. Y'all, something about, I understand the seriousness, I really do, of the things that we talk about when it comes to these criminal cases, or these, whatever they become, these, cases of interest, or whatever you want to call them, or these people of interest. I understand the seriousness of it. Y'all, but I cannot help the cynicism that comes out of me wanting to make these skits. Number one, so we can lighten things up a little bit, because it's so damn pissy. It angers me. So I want to lighten it up. But another thing is just to kind of prove a point. Like Tim Ballard shower gel. I mean, he goes on to this thing show before Attorney General Reyes comes out, the very next day? He's trying to head it off the pass going on that show, that podcast show, and his wife is sitting there by him and everything, and he's talking about putting a towel up in the shower there. Give me a freaking break. Number one, there aren't cameras in their freaking room. Number two, somebody tell me how you get a towel between two people when the shower curtain's like that. It is a freaking ignorant ass, stupid excuse for his behavior. What is very disheartening in this day and age, but it's a perfect example. You can see the truth right in front of your face. And just not even see it for what it is. Jenny Bitty says he has an excuse for every little thing. Oh, yeah, he's a great storyteller. And, y'all, what's unfortunate about it is Tim Ballard could have done all, and maybe he's done some stuff in his past. The bottom line is that he's using this gift. I believe he has a gift, y'all. That's just my opinion of storytelling. And storytelling can be storytelling about actual things that happen. When someone says, don't be a storyteller, well, I understand that aspect where someone's just making stuff up. But a storyteller, I could be a storyteller and tell the truth. I don't know about y'all. And he's had a gift of this, and he could have just laid that aside and just got real and said, you know what? I'm a grown man. I'm going on these missions. I'm away from my wife. These skinny jeans are, I'm wanting to take them off because they're so damn tight on my ball sack. And I'm just a man, and I was weak in the flesh. Well, I told y'all a while back at least one would come out of the woodwork. And as things heat up down the road here, we're going to probably hear some specificity. I don't need to hear that. All I know is that there are women out here that say it's true. It's not that I 100% believe it. You know how they say you need to believe them without verification and all that. Just believe a woman. I give them the benefit of the doubt in their explanation if it lines up with anything, if they've got proof in it. But how many women want to come forward on something like this? How many want to dang basically go through the freaking meat grinder of everyone that's supporting Tim Ballard? That includes news organizations. Nobody wants to go there. Nobody wants to be sexually harassed or abused. So in that way, I do believe that's a good indicator. And I know they're anonymous right now, y'all. But my theory is I would say at least one, if not more, is probably in that church. And they don't want people to know that, yes, they did engage in this stuff with Tim Ballard because it's not going to look good on them. And I don't know if any of these women were married or whether they were single. But it doesn't matter in that religion whether you're single or married. Both are as equally as bad if you're dang fornicating or whatever the hell. Olive Heatley says, Tim Ballard's skinny jeans caused his temple garments to give him a wedgie. He had a Chinese man. The wedgie. You know, Maria P., I just have compassion for Tim Ballard's wife. I do. She's stuck in a really bad position because she has to stand by her man. But it goes further. It goes with their livelihood and everything else. Kathy Barella says, allegedly, I have to use that word allegedly, Kathy, Tim broke up a few marriages from what I'm hearing from Mormon stories. Okay. Allegedly. Well, also, if you think about it, and I saw some news headline on that. No, I didn't. I saw it on Reddit, I think. That Mormon stories had to take at least a video down because of the cease and desist and all that. Y'all, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as freedom of speech anymore in this country. And I don't know. I can't remember the last time in my lifetime. It's always been that way. But I've always said this. If you are going to speak out with your First Amendment free speech rights, you've got to be able to deal with the consequences of it. It's just like if I say something on here that someone doesn't like, I got to be willing to take it. I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to like it, but I got to take it. Well, Liza Joe, I know that word excommunication is not used much anymore in that religion, and it's basically asking to leave the church. Again, I put in front of you, the church says morally unacceptable. He betrayed the elder Ballard. And then on the other side, Tim Ballard is saying, I'm in good standing with my church. Which is it? Which is it? Those are oxymorons right there. Autumn Evans says the women accusing Tim Ballard will have every nut Tim Ballard fan harassing them. They've been through enough. And I have to agree with that, Autumn. It's sad. You know what, this whole Me Too movement and all this, where did that go? You blow a few people out of the water and then nobody's thinking about it anymore. So, we're going to find out what we're going to find out this week, y'all. And again, I will apologize if I started my Monday a little on the pessimistic side. OKJ just does what I do. I honestly, unless it's on a Friday, which I'm trying to be disciplined. If we hear any news this week, I'm going to pop in on All Rays on Deck. I hope you'll be looking for that. And I love you all. I hope that even in the midst of the days that OKJ might be a little on the negative side or pessimistic side, that you will still be able to find some goodness in everything that we do as this channel is here. You know what I'm saying? I wish all of y'all love, happiness, a great Monday. I'm very blessed that you've been here. And I know that there's a reason for everything, right? So y'all have a great day. Be looking at the community wall. And we'll get back together soon, y'all. I love you, love you, love you. And keep on looking.